Hello and welcome to episode 154, and for this video I'm on the Syndicate. And yes, many of you might say, I didn't think you could film on your Syndicate, and we'll go into that a bit later in the blog. But yes, I'm on the Syndicate and I'm here for a mammoth 5-day session. Just got here, I haven't got nothing out of the car yet. I've literally just pulled up. Well, I haven't literally just pulled up because I've actually done a lap of the lake. Had a walk around the lake, had a bit of a pick and choose of where I want to fish. No one else is here, got the lake to myself at the moment, and I've decided to go all the way right to the back of the lake. You can I don't know if you can probably see it, but there's a swim about just there, and that's where I'm going to fish. Why are you fishing that swim, I hear you ask? Good question. Right, I've decided to pick that swim because I've had a look at the weather forecast for the 5 days that I'm here, and the wind is kind of chopping and changing. At the moment the wind is blowing straight from this way to this way, but the wind is it's blowing that way, it's blowing that way, it's blowing that way, it blow that way, it's blowing all ways. So I've decided if I go over the back, I'm on the back of the wind for most of the time, whichever way it's blowing. And the thing about this lake, I've known from experience that a lot of the fish tend to back off, get on the back of the wind on this lake. I don't know if you can probably just see there's a bit of a clear line on the back of the lake there. So, and also this time of year, the sun comes up from behind the camera and sets behind that side of the bank. So when it comes to doing stuff like evening recasts, I'm not going to be blinded with the sun in my eyes, etc. Also, that swim holds a lot of fond memories because it's where my current PB is currently from, 38.5 pound, what I had 2 years ago. So for my last ever Syndicate session, I thought a bit sentimental, go and fish where my current PB's from, and then maybe get another one. Right, I'm waffling too much. As I said, no kit's out of the car yet, so I need to do that now. But till something carpy happens, let's go fishing. And we're at the swim, and that's only trip number 1. Right, just unloaded the first barrow lot of kit. It's going to take me 2 loads of barrows to get all my kit around here. As I said, I'm here for a 5-day session, so I've got more kit than what I'd normally have. So I've got extra food, extra bait, extra clothes, and just all the stuff that goes along with doing a long session. Just having a bit of a rest because it is quite a long trek. You might just be able to pick out in the background where my car is about sort of there. So basically I've had to come all the way along this back bank here, round it, up this bank here, and then, yeah, it's quite a trek, put it that way. Yeah, definitely don't want to overload the barrow and, you know, do me back in. Right, let's get back over there and get the second lot of kit. And guys, it might look like I'm fishing now, but I'm not. I've taken a good couple of hours, to be fair, of getting all my bivvy and all the home sorted and all my luxuries and getting everything nice and tidy. So I haven't rushed to get the rods out just yet, because I know from experience, I've fished here for years and years, this lake is predominantly a night water. It's quite rare to get any daytime bites, so rushing to get the rods out in daylight is pointless, to be fair. So but I've got leads on, got rig tubing on, rigs are in me tackle box, so all I've got to do is get them out and bait them and cast them out. Just for tonight, I'm going to just pub chuck the rods. I've already had a bit of a lead around, and there's nothing out there. This lake is an old gravel pit, and this time of year there's no weed to contend with. In fact, I did drag in a little bit of weed if I can find it on the floor. I can't find where I dropped it, but I've probably brought in a tiny bit of Canadian pondweed on the lead, and also probably maybe a little bit of Canadian pondweed, probably about 6 inches long. But for this lake, that is absolutely nothing. But it's basically, it's just gravel and sort of pretty sand out there. So I know I can pub chuck them tonight, 15, 16 wraps roughly, that kind of range. And I'm just landing on gravel and sand anyway, so I ain't got to worry about what the rods are landing on. But as I'm pretty much set up and almost ready to fish now, what I'm going to do is actually drive into the local village and go and get some fish and chips for me tea. And then once I get back and add some food, then I'll get the rods out. So, like I say, because I'm here for 5 days, I don't need to rush. I can cast the rods out tonight and it wouldn't really matter. So, right, anyway, right, let's hop off to South Thurney and go get myself some fish and chips. Right, and gang, just got back from South Thurney, which is the local village to this lake, and well, the chip shop was shut, so got a curry instead. Hey! So rods still aren't out yet. I'm gonna have me food first. Ooh. And then get the rods out, because I am starving, as you can tell. I'm shrivelling away. So a few chippies. So anyway, so as I was about to say, before I started talking about food in my belly, I won't do any more filming tonight because I've still got a bit to do. I dropped a chip. So yeah, so I won't do any more filming tonight. Like I said, I'm here for 5 days, 5 nights. I've got plenty of time to show you how I'm fishing, where I'm fishing, rigs, bait, techniques, a little bit of info about the lake. So I don't want to be filming too much, otherwise this 5-day blog would be a bit of a marathon one to watch. And I'm already waffling, so I'm going to enjoy this curry. Obviously, if I get any fish in the night, you'll see that. But then, you know, tactics, baiting, all that malarkey we'll start going into tomorrow. So till tomorrow, I want to enjoy me mixed curry and keeming on, and well, I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, good morning, gang. And obviously by the lack of nighttime footage, didn't catch anything last night, but as this lake goes, that's pretty much to be expected, to be honest with you. It's very rare I've ever caught on the first night on this lake. For some reason it seems to be one of them lakes where you more often catch on your second night, you know, after you've put some bait in, etc., and the fish have started swimming around your kind of baited area. So yeah, as I expected, no fish last night. And to be fair, if I did catch anything last night, I'd have got absolutely soaked, because the rain last night absolutely belted down. The sort of rain you get where you actually start thinking to yourself, oh, I hope I don't get a run now, but it was that bad last night. And it's only really just kind of stopped raining now. It's been light raining sort of all morning, about 9 o'clock now. And just a few minutes ago, I've just seen my first fish show as well. Unfortunately, not in my area. If you can see just over my left shoulder, this sandbank, it used to be a sandbank, it's now a reed bank. But just off the reeds, about just here, a big fish, and it was a big fish. It jumped out about 3-4 times, I think it was. So the kind of jumping it does in a line where I think they're trying to clean muck out their gills or trying to clean leeches off their bodies. So yeah, so that's my first signs of fish. Unfortunately, all the way over there is out of my casting range. So unless I went back over to the other side of the lake, but I'm not moving back to the other side of the lake just for one fish. And to be fair, I'm in a good swim, so I'm not going to move. But anyway, today I can really start my fishing properly. The rigs I've got on was rigs I had left over in my tackle box, so I'm going to tie some new rigs. The rigs that are on there are all sharp, but I'm just going to start with new rigs. Going to put some bait out later on. I did put a little bit of bait out last night after I signed off, but not a lot, probably about, I don't know, half a kilo maybe. But today I'll probably put out a couple of kilos of boilies. I've only brought boilies to bait up with me. And then later on I'll move one of my rods over. You can't see it at the moment, but to my left there's a nice overhanging tree line which I've had fished from before, from this swim. There's actually one more swim to my left, so if anyone actually went in that swim, I wouldn't be able to fish that tree line. But yeah, from this swim it's about 16 wraps, something like that, 16.5 wraps if I remember rightly. I'll have to reel it up. The only thing, because it's a sideways cast, you have to get in the water with your waders and sort of cast from the water, so that's the only thing. But right, anyway, starting to waffle now, so I'm going to have some breakfast and then start tying rigs and all that malarkey. And my camera looks like it's starting to steam up on the lens anyway. Right, it's very cold as well today. And gang, you might notice that I'm actually got my waders on now, and you might notice in the bottom left hand corner of the screen there's only 2 rods out. That's because I've just wound that rod in and I've just been clipping up to that left hand tree margin that I said I was going to fish earlier on. So not got the rod back out yet because I'm going to wind the other 2 rods in shortly anyway. But yeah, my memory serves me correctly from getting in the water and doing a sideways cast in front of this peg. It's exactly 16 wraps to that left hand tree margin that I want to fish. I've caught fish from there before, so today I've got time to do things properly, and yeah, so I've clipped up 16 wraps and it's right tight to that tree line. So, but I've just realised, looking in one of my buckets, I forgot my catapult. Doing a sideways spotting from this swim would be a bit awkward because spotting from the water is not easy really. So my plan was to go to the swim to my left and bait up by catapult, but I've just realised I've forgotten my catapult. It's in a different bucket at home. So when I've round in shortly to redo new rigs and what have you, I'm going to run up to the local tackle shop, the Tackle Den, which it's only 5 minutes up the road from here, so I ain't really going to lose any fishing time really. And we're past bite time now anyway, so this kind of time of day I'm not worried about losing any fishing time because as I said earlier in the video, this is predominantly a night water, and once you get sort of past 10 o'clock in the morning, bites are known to be very rare this kind of time of day on this lake until it gets to sort of early evening time. So yeah, so winding in, I'm not really, losing any fishing time really, to be fair. Give you a bit more info about this lake. Obviously, up to now on my social media, I've always been a bit quiet about this lake because it has been a private lake run through the company that I work for. And so, as I said in the intro, this is going to be my last ever session here. And the reason why is because this lake it's not owned by Honda, who I work for. It's just leased by Honda. And basically, Honda have just give up the lake. They don't want it no more. So new guy who owns the lake next door, Mark Bryant, who owns the Baitworks company, he starts a new lease on the lake from the 1st of April, which is this Sunday coming, hence why I can only fish up to Saturday. I did apply with Mark to stay on the lake, but he didn't keep any of us existing members on. Actually, I hear a rumour he kept 2 people on, but coincidentally they're customers of his, if you can work that one out. So yeah, so that's the reason why. Yeah, basically Honda have just give up the lease on the lake They don't want it anymore. To be fair, there would have been enough of us that would have come up with the money to still keep the lake, but they didn't want to do that, so all good things come to an end and all that. So but yeah, so a little bit of information about the lake. I said yesterday it's a gravel pit lake, which is exactly what it is. In fact, bear with me a moment, I'll go down to the water and scoop up some of the So if you can see that, guys, that is pretty much what the whole lake consists of, and pretty much sand as well. So there are weed pockets here and there scattered around the lake. There's no massive weed beds in this particular swim this time of year, so I ain't got to really worry about that. When I done my leading around to my left, I found a little bit of silkweed as I was bringing the lead back, but up against that tree line there's nothing to worry about. The lake itself is situated in the Ashton Keynes area, and pretty much dead opposite. Anyone who knows this area, the Ashton Keynes water park where they got the fake beach and all that, is dead opposite. So yeah, so that's where the lake is. The lake itself is about 7 to 8 acres, that kind of size. And at this time of year, where the water level's quite high, it's about 15 foot deep in its deepest areas. If I went over to the far side where I've parked my car, it's probably more like 9-10 foot over that side of the lake. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about the lake, really. So let's go for a little bit of a walk. Let's pick up the camera. So well, let's have a little walk to the swim that's to me left. It's very rarely fished, to be honest with you, and I have fished it before years ago, but some of you might say, why aren't you fishing this peg if you're going to fish that tree line? Well, the good reason for that is my other two rods are out in open water where you catch a majority of the fish, so that's why I'm in that peg. So there you go. So I'm fishing this tree line here. Once I've hit the clip, the rig lands about a foot from that tree line, and this swim that I'm stood in now was my plan to bait up with a catapult. But as I said, I forgot my catapult, so I'm going to run to the tackle shop in a minute and go and buy a new one, so I can bait up from this swim. On the left hand side, there's one peg on that side of the lake. They call that the grid. Don't know why it's called the grid, it just is. Most of my fishing I've done on this lake, I've always done from that side of the lake, because that's where the most fishable swims on the lake are. There's about 7 pegs on that side of the lake. On the front bank there's only really about 3 fishable pegs. 1 peg over there, and then on this side of the lake where I am now, there's 3 pegs. So that one I've just been stood in. The one I'm in now, which they call this swim I'm in the Badger. The reason why they call it the Badger, because a lot of badgers live in this side of the lake. Right, anyway, I've been waffling on this segment of the video far too much, so oh, what's that? We'll look at that later. So yeah, I've been waffling on far too long this little section, so yeah, just wanted to give you a little bit of info about the lake. Obviously I've got nothing to worry about giving info about the lake away now, because by the time this blog hits his screens, we won't have the lake anymore, so I can't get chucked off and it doesn't matter. Right guys, just got back from the tackle dent. I have a new catapult, hey, and a few other bits of shit that I didn't need but I bought anyway. So alright, let's get this catapult off its backing card. To be fair, I needed a new catapult anyway, because the one I've got was like a particle catapult, and wanted a boily one anyway, so 13 quid, not too bad. Right, now I've got a catapult with me. I'm going to put some bait in on that left hand rod on that tree line what I've showed you, and then later on when I've tied some new rigs I'll put some bait out into the open water swims. Right, let's have a play with my new catapult. Yeah, quite like that new catapult, to be fair. Does a bit better spread than my other catapult. So anyway, I'm going to put a few more pouches in. As you can see, I've got a big old bucket. I've brought 10 kilos of live system with me to bait up for this 5-day session. 10 kilos, you say? Grant, that's a lot of bait. Not really, I'm here for 5 days, remember? So I'm only going to put out about 2 kilos a day. But saying that, I only put about a kilo in last night, half a kilo, so I'm going to put about 3 kilos out today. Kilo on that rod, kilo on the middle rod, kilo on the right hand rod. So you know, it's that time of year now where the fish are starting to get their heads down. We are now officially in spring. It is starting to warm up, even the sun's come out. So yeah, so that's my baiting plan, is about 2 kilos of bait per day on average. And so some of you might comment, why are you putting in that much bait? So what I didn't say earlier on, in this lake, although it's a sort of a decent sized lake, there's only about 40 carp in here that we're actually fishing for. Might even be less than that, no one really knows. But probably about 400 bream as well, so you have to allow a bit of bait as well for the bream to have some as well. Right, anyway, I'm going to carry on putting in a bit of bait. I might even have to take my hoodie off, it's getting quite warm now. Right guys, just been putting a bit of bait out over, well, my middle rod so far, and playing with my new gadget. I'm sure pretty much most of you must have seen on social media of some sort these recently. That's the new the air bomb spod from TF Gear. If you haven't seen these on social media, where have you been? Because there's been quite an uproar, either by people either loving the idea of them or just hating them because they think they're copying Spom. But yeah, I've just been having a play with it for the first time. I picked it up at the Big One show last weekend, and yeah, it's a bit hit and miss, to be fair. There's a bit more flapping around involved to get it set up than a Spom. So I'll sort of show you roughly how it works. There's not been many videos on how it actually works. So what you can see inside is a long pin that goes through the body of the of the air bomb. So the locking mechanism's at the front, so you fill the air bomb, and then to lock it in place you've got to pull on the back of the leader that comes with it, and that locks it in place. Now it's a sort of a clever idea but a bit fiddly I've found so far. On the back of the air bomb there's a little hook. Then what you do, let's move my rod to a better position because I've got my rod tip in the trees. So this leader that comes with the air bomb, you've then got to slide the whole air bomb up to the top of the leader where it's got this big ring on it. Then what you got to do, you got to hook that hook onto the big ring, and then that's your casting position. So all that leader sort of is just left dangling on the cast, and then basically what happens during the cast of this thing flying out, the hook comes detached from that ring, and then during flight the whole air bomb slides back down the leader, and then as it hits them little beads, also comes with it, all that comes as one leader. You know, you have to hit the clip, and then as the air bomb hits the clip, open she pops. Right, so I've been having a bit of a play with it, and I've found, as I said, I'm fishing at 16 wraps, and you've got to pretty much give it a fair old wang, to be honest with you. And I've found so far that fishing at 16 wraps, I've had to clip up at 14 wraps with this thing to allow for then when it opens then the boilies firing forwards. I'm sure it's different ranges with different size boilies. The boilies have got a 15mm, but you know, different bait sizes, different types of bait. I'm sure you'd have to clip up short at different ranges, but so far I found about 2 rod lengths short with 15mm boilies at 16 wraps is about right to then allow for the boilies to be sort of catapulted forward out of the air bomb. Right, let's do a couple of little casts. Like I said, it is a bit fiddly because once you've locked it in place you've got to play around with this kind of leader thing as well, so there's a bit more flapping around involved than what there is with a spawn, but we'll have a bit more of a play with it and see how we go. So yeah, not too bad. And so there is a bit more flash involved with actually getting it set up. One thing I've also found with this air bomb is that it does dig in the water as well for a little while to begin with. It takes a bit of work to actually get it back up on the surface, to get it skipping back across how it does with a norm, with like a spawn. But yeah, overall it's not too bad at all, to be fair. Like I say, it definitely does a nice spread of boilies, even though I'm hitting my bivvy behind me on the back cast. Oh, and I've dropped a load of boilies, but yeah, it's not a too bad bit of kit at all, to be fair. Like I said, this bit here where you've just got to attach the hook on that little loop, you know, is the only it's not fiddly, but it's just a little bit more messing around that you have to do than with a normal spawn. But yeah, so yeah, they're definitely flying forward about 2 rod lengths at the range I'm fishing and 15 mils. So yeah, so not a bad bit of kit, to be fair, guys. Like I say, if you don't mind the extra little bit of messing around that's involved with doing that bit while you're baiting up, then yeah, it's a nice bit of kit, to be fair. Like I said, it definitely puts out a better spread of boilies than just a conventional spawn. So yeah, for me, I'll say the plus side is you do definitely get a better spread of bait. The minus side is just this bit of reconnect, you know, attaching that is a bit more. But overall, it's a thumbs up from me. Right then, gang, I've just spent a bit of time getting my next rigs ready. The rigs that I fished with last night, I've just binned. The hooks were still fairly sharp, but they've been in my tackle box a while. They've been used a couple of times, and although they were still sharp, the new sharpness wasn't there anymore. So I've just tied up 4 new rigs. 3 obviously to go on my rods, and then I tied up a spare as well in case I lose a rig for whatever reason, whether it be, you know, crack off, cut off, you know, one goes blunt, you know, then I've got a 4th ready to go. So in my little tray, my little rig tying tray. So basically I've just tied up 3 Ronnie rigs, well 4 Ronnie rigs if you count the spare. So nothing too complicated. I mean, I think everyone, man and his dog, has seen a Ronnie rig now, so that's my Ronnie rig. Size 6 hook on a size 11 quick ring swivel, 12mm bait, about an 8-inch boom of IQ2, little sinker in the middle just to help keep it pinned down, and then a anti-tangle boom. You know, it just clips onto me lead clip system. I've shown you before in previous blogs that I always do my Ronnie rigs, you know, stiff hinge rigs, always with a loop on the end, just so it gives the whole rig a lot more sort of free movement. So that's me rigs. Like I said, I've got 3 of them tied up, as you can see. 3 different colours, 3 different baits. Oh, keep my voice straight. So I'm going to test them in the margins in a minute. So the 3 baits are fruit salad, Hinder's bait, cherry bonbon pop-up, and blackjack pop-up. All 12mm, all Hinders. They're all beetle-in boosted as well. And then before I cast them out, which I actually forgot to do last night before I cast out because I forgot to get them out of my bag, I've now got the matching booster sprays. So cherry bonbon, fruit salad, blackjack. So that one hasn't got a proper label on because I actually got that booster spray before they come out officially. So we're all ready to go. The time now is it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Even though, oh, actually I'll show you this bit of rig as well, the actual lead clip system. So obviously lead clip system. As you can see, nice gravel coloured lead. I've already showed you the kind of lake bed that we're fishing on, so these gravel looking leads match the lake, nice and camouflaged. And then I've got about 18 inches of tungsten rig tubing, the cord of dark matter, and then the other end I've got a flying back lead, and I use the quick link lead clips now, because it makes clipping rigs on and off really easy. Right, so basically I am ready to go, and even though I am ready to go, like I said, I'm not going to cast out for another probably 2 or 3 hours yet. As I said earlier in the blog, this is predominantly a night water, and this kind of time of day it's very, very rare to get a bite at all, so I won't cast out until about 5 or 6 o'clock, so when it does get to bite time, the bait stay as fresh and as buoyant as possible for as long as possible through the night when it is bite time. Well, all I've got to do now, test the rigs in the margins, which is easy to do here because the water's gin clear. And then, yeah, I'm just going to chill out for a couple of hours until I decide it's my cast out time. Lovely jubbly. They're all looking sweet, sitting up nice, all sank slowly-ish. Right, next time they see water, they'll be on the fishing spots. Cheers. Right then guys, I've just been for a walk around the lake just to have a bit of a mooch about really. I've been chatting to Gary, the other lad who's turned up now on the other side of the lake. It's bloody cold over that side of the lake where the wind's blowing, I can tell you. But yeah, it's just going up to 6 o'clock in the evening now, so it's time to get the rods out now. Right. Oh. guys. That's the third rod out. I am now to be what I consider fishing properly. After last night's fishing with just basically pub chucks, today, I've found me spots, baited up, and new rigs, fresh bait, on the baited spots, all that malarkey. So yeah, so I'm now what I'd call fishing properly. Let's test the drag. A couple more clicks of tightness. Right, that's it. The 3 rods are out for the night. So those 2 have got nice kind of semi-slack drags. This left-hand rod, what you see me cast that tree line that I've been telling you about today, that one's fishing more or less locked up. So obviously if the fish picks it up and runs away from me, I don't want it going into the trees, so... Right, fingers crossed for summit tonight. fish in the net. Right then, gang. Second morning, first fish. So just like everything I've said before in the blog, it's very rare. Well, it's been rare for me in the past that I've ever caught fish from this lake on the first night, because you have to get the baiting going to get the fish going, etc, etc. And yeah, absolutely right once again. Found me spots better yesterday, put some bait in yesterday, and then this morning, just wait for her to settle down a bit, she's a bit lively. So yeah, just goes with everything I've already said really. On the right hand rod, I'm not sure if the rod was in shot when I started filming, but it was absolutely bent round like a matchman's quiver tip rod. Right, you gonna settle down, love? I can't remember what bait it was on, because the bait has come off the hair, so at some point later on when I've reeled in the other two rods, I'll know which bait it was. Here we go. 23.10. Not one of the lake's big gills, but she's definitely been holding up somewhere. She was covered in a few leeches. One which come off and was stuck to my thumb a minute ago. Spin around. But yeah, not one of the lake's big girls. Like I said, 23.10. But come on. But yeah, it means we're not blanking, and it means the fish can probably only get bigger, because there is a lot bigger in here. In fact, this is probably one of the smaller fish in this lake, to be fair. The only fish that are probably really smaller than this in this lake are the commons, but we're not blanking, so I'm happy, because it means I've caught a fish on my last ever session here. So which, whatever happens from now on, is a bonus really. Right, time to do some pictures and then get her back to the deep. Right then guys, just a bit of a post-fish update, because when I had that fish, I couldn't remember what bait I put on what rod. So, well actually, I remembered I put the fruit salad pop-up on the left rod, so I couldn't remember if it was a blackjack or the cherry bonbon. So I wound in the middle rod just so I could have a look, and that fish was on the cherry bonbon. So, what? Oh, I'm choking on a cornflake. So, 1-0 to the cherry bonbon. Well, just because I've only had one fish, I'm not going to start changing all 3 rods to cherry bonbon yet, because on this water I have caught on yellow baits before, I have caught on white baits before. So I know all colours work on this lake, so as you can probably hear on the bivvy, it's absolutely lashing it down. I had to do the filming, like the camera from the bivvy. I think we've got this rain forecast for most of the day as well. But hey, I'm just happy now because I'm not blanking my last ever session. Right, Anyway, I'm going to carry on eating my cornflakes, and I'll see you guys later. Oh, this weather's fun, guys. Absolutely lashing it down. Been raining all night. Even when I had that fish, it was raining, not quite as heavy as what it is at the moment, like. Just thought Gary across the lake winding in a rod, so I don't, he must be just winding in for a recast. Oh, you can see the white van through the bushes. My mate Darren's just turned up as well to do a few nights. So that's 3 of us on the lake so far. I don't fancy being Darren right now, having to set up in this weather though. Right then guys, midday now, way past bite time. It is now baiting up time. So around sort of midday to 1 o'clock is about the time I traditionally bait up on this swim. Got me bucket of boilies, gonna go and bait up the left hand swim first. You know the left hand rod, because that's easy with being, you know, just on the catapult range. So yeah, so we'll do the left hand rod first, you know, still on that tree line there. So, you know, on this lake there's a lot of big fish in here, they eat a lot of bait, also a lot of bream as I said before, so even on the rods that don't catch fish I still put bait out, because I'm pretty sure most of the bait gets eaten even if you don't catch fish, just purely to the amount of bream that's in this lake. So so that's why I always put bait out whether I've caught regardless. So anyway, right, let's get some of that over there. Right, now time to put some bait over the middle and right hand rods. Can be a bit fiddly, that little hook sometimes. I think hit me bivvy behind you then. Right, gang, I'm not a happy bunny. After I closed off me bit where I was putting out some bait with the air bomb, carried on putting out some bait, done a few more, done a few more, done a few more. I was just on my last one, thought, oh, that's enough. Put about 2 more kilos of bait out over the middle and right hand rod. gone for one more, cast it out, hit the clip, bang. What was the bang? That was the bang. It broke. So I've got no more air bomb. It's floating out in a lake somewhere and all I've got is that bit. So I've changed my mind about the air bombs. I'm sticking with a spom. It's shit. I'm not sure how, but obviously that end clipped onto the locking mechanism somehow. And well, it's obviously broke at the locking mechanism, or whether that's deformed, or I don't know, but hit the clip and it just broke off. I'm going to stick with a spom. Right, gang, I'm about to have a little gap in my fishing, just a little break, because I've been on the bank for 2 days now, and when I got here the other day I come straight from work, so you know, smelling a bit whiffy now. So only live 20 minutes away from here, so basically I'm going to pop home for a couple of hours now, have a shower, freshen up, and then basically, you know, just get all nice and clean smelling again. So that's my third rod. I've just wrapped up all the rods, so basically when I do get back, probably about 5 o'clock this evening, then basically I'm just ready to cast out as soon as I get back here. So I'm going to go home, take a bit of rubbish home with me, pick up a few more supplies, and then well, I'll catch you later. Right then guys, just got back to the lake. Oh, it's gone a little bit longer than I'd originally planned, because once I got home I kind of sat down, put a bit of telly on, had me shower, put on some fresh clothes, and basically just chilled out for a little bit, and then stopped at the chippy on the way back here. So I've just had a chippy dinner, and then well, it's now time to get the rods back out. So, as you've seen, I need to get the waders on, especially to cast my left hand rod. So right, let's get the rods out. Right, and gang, saw 3 rods out now for night number 3. Just a little bit of daylight left. Probably the sun's going to probably drop behind the horizon in about half an hour. So got the rods out with enough light, and you know, in about an hour's time it'll be bite time. So fingers crossed for fish number 2. Hi guys, just thought I'd give you a bit of an update really on the air bomb blowing up situation. So obviously after it broke, it's a brand new thing, I wasn't too happy, so I messaged TF Gear via their Facebook page, and to be fair, they got back pretty quickly to me. I sent them a picture of what was left, said I wasn't happy, you know, all that kind of thing, and I don't know if you can, if you want to read that, pause it now because I'm only going to hold it for a second. But basically they've said sorry, and that some of the first batch that were very first made apparently was that long bit of wire that holds the locking mechanism. The manufacturer had used the wrong wire basically, according to TF Gear. So basically they're saying once it was noticed, they're using the right wire now, which is stronger, and it shouldn't happen again. So there is a small batch of air bombs out there with this wrong wire that has allowed the breakage. So so they have apologised. They've asked me address so they can send me a new one free of charge, obviously. And so that's that. So sometime in the near future, hopefully I'll be using the air bomb again, but this time without breaking. Good morning guys. Ooh, really early, 6:30, just had to get up for a wee, but it's been a quiet night, not even a bleep last night. But I did just see a fish show over my middle rod. Yeah, not even a bleep last night, but it's still early. The sun hasn't even come up over the horizon yet, so it's still bite time for about another 2.5 hours yet. So once the sun sort of really comes up above the tree line in the distance, that's where sort of bite time is really over on this lake. Right, I think I'm going to get back in my sleeping bag because it is still early. I only had to get up for a wee. And guys, just a little morning update. So obviously, as I've already said, absolutely no bleeps or nothing last night. One guy's gone, but another guy's turned up now. The other guy isn't fishing yet, but he's got his kit set up and then he's just gone again. So actually fishing is only me and Darren over there at the moment. You might just be able to tell sort of the wind has changed directions now, so where the wind was blowing right over my back and towards the far side of the lake, it's switched round now, and as I look at the lake, it's now blowing from my right to my left, which is almost southwesterly. It's a kind of a south-southwesterly at the moment, which is meant to be the warmer winds, but the air temperature this morning is absolutely freezing. When I did get up this morning for a wee and that, everything outside was frozen. It's still, even though the sun's out, it is absolutely freezing today, so I've just had to change into me winter thermal trousers, and but with that change in wind direction, with it being a sort of a southwesterly, which are meant to be warmer winds. Doesn't feel like it at the moment. I don't know if it's going to work in my favour or not, because all my rods are over this side of the lake. Even my right hand rod is, you know, past the halfway mark on this side of the lake, so effectively now I am on the wind. So whether that will work in my favour or not, I don't know, but time will tell. It's about 10:30 in the morning now, so in a couple more hours it'll be time to wind in my rods and do my daily baiting routine. As I said yesterday, even when I don't catch on this lake, I still put out bait daily anyway. Purely, as I said yesterday, if the carp aren't eating it, there's certainly hundreds and hundreds of bream in here that will be eating it. So it might look like I'm putting out a lot of bait, as I said yesterday, but I can guarantee most of that is getting scoffed through the night by the bream alone. So I'm sure some of you might wonder why I'm sticking to fishing on the bottom, albeit pop-ups and not trying zigs. This is not a zig water. So I mean, in all the years I've been fishing here, 7, 8 years, something like that now, I've only ever heard of one fish being caught on a zig, so that's why I don't even waste my time fishing zigs here. It's just one of them waters where zigs don't go, so before anyone comments, why don't you chuck a zig out? It's just not a zig water, trust me. I know some of you people will think, oh, everywhere catches on zigs. Trust me, this water does not. But anyway, yeah, when I do me baiting again, it'll be back to the trusty old spawn. But for the next couple of hours now, I'm just gonna chill and relax. I'm not expecting any bites now, it's way past bite time. It's rare I have any midday bites on here. It's not unheard of, it's just rare. So right, anyway, I'll stop waffling on. Basically just chill out for a couple of hours. I'm a little bit warmer now, and I've put me winter trousers on and some thick socks, and I'll put a vest on, an extra top under this hoodie, so a little bit warmer now. Yeah, anyway, I'm waffling. Alright, I'll see you later. So, just to prove me wrong about everything I said about not getting daytime bites, and it's rare on here, I'll go and get one. Feels a lot better fish than yesterday's one as well. Probably be proved wrong in a minute whether just a hard fighting brew. Don't do me in the bushes. Oh yes, it's come forward again. It's gone right round to the left now. Back to the right and from the bushes, I know it is. Oh, back to the left again. Woohoo! Oh no! it just swam out the net. Oh, and it's back in the net. Oh God, nearly made a bit of a schoolboy error there and didn't lift the net up enough, lads, and it swam back out the net. Right then guys, just to prove how wrong you can be when you think you're guessing weights when you're fighting a fish. This fish isn't bigger than yesterday's one, it's smaller, but a lot prettier, a nicer, linear. She just put up a much harder fight than yesterday's fish, that's all. There we go. £18.7, an absolutely gorgeous little linear. Now, this must be one of the smallest fish in the lake because I know they're a lot bigger in here. So, middle rod this time. Once again, I can't remember what bait it's on at the moment because I can't remember which bait I cast to where. But, yeah, 2 fish at a session, and I'm really happy now because 2 fish was my goal to catch this 5-day session. Knowing how hard this lake is, I said to myself before I got here, if I can catch 2 fish, I'll be really happy. I mean, I've done 3-day, 4-day blanks here before, so to have 2 fish on the 3rd day, there she is, the other side, absolutely stunning linear. So, absolutely ecstatic with that one. So, yeah, so when I realise what bait she went on later on, I'll let you know. But she's looking at the state of my hooking mat, she's certainly been scoffing up the bait because my hooking mat is absolutely riddled with that life system that I've been chucking out. Right then guys, time to get her back. Let's get this rod back out. Ready to go. Just make sure she's sitting up the right way. Got her brush back fully. Oh, we're back. And she's off. Yesterday, smaller than yesterday's fish. Well, I'm a lot happier with that one, to be fair, because it was a lot better looking fish. Right, and guys, just a quick update on the capture of that fish. After I put that fish back, I wound in the other rods, basically just to rechuck them, make sure they're not clogged up with weed, and basically just see what the bait was on the other 2 rods. And I can confirm, fish number 2 was on the cherry bonbon again. So that's 2 different fish I've had now from 2 different areas, both on the cherry bonbon. So that's all the information I need to tell me I'm going to carry on the rest of this session, about another 48 hours worth of fishing. All 3 rods from now on are going to be fishing on the cherry bonbon. That's when I do my recast later on. They're all still on the 3 separate baits at the moment, but yeah, when I cast out later on, I'll stick with the cherry bonbon from next cast onwards. I tell you what, guys, I don't fancy having a run right now. God, look at this weather, it's absolutely horrendous. It's about 1 o'clock now. Oh, sorry for the camera shake, because I'm actually holding the camera on the tripod, but yeah, it's about 1 o'clock now. It's about the time I was planning on putting some more bait out, but yeah, I don't really fancy being out there in this weather at the moment, and this heavy rain's forecast for the next couple of hours as well, and even after it eases off, it's forecast to carry on raining up to about 11 o'clock tonight. So yeah, a bit wet out there at the moment. Right then, gang, as you can see, I'm in my waterproofs. The rain has eased off a bit, but not by much. So it's about 2 o'clock now, so it's already past my sort of regular baiting up time, and I want to get some bait in. The fish are feeding. I've seen the evidence for that in my unhooking mat. So yeah, going to get some more bait out. I'm going to do my left hand rod first on that left hand line tree margin. So I'm going to go and do that one first with the old catapult, and then come back and do the other 2 rods with me regular spawn. But not going to film this next baiting bit, because as you can see and hear, it's still quite heavy rain, and I don't want to get the camera knackered. Right, let's go and do the left rod. Right, I've baited up my left hand rod. I'm going to put some bait out now with a spawn on the other 2 rods. I don't know how many I'm going to do, because it's absolutely freezing and my hands are already numb. We'll see what we do. Right then, gang, I've got some bait out. Once again, about another 2 kilos of bait over the between the 3 rods. So as you can probably see, I've wound my rods in now. So this is my sort of couple of hours of rest in the swim time now, so I still don't know what the time is. I think it's about 3 o'clock now, but yeah, I'm going to sort of leave the rods in now for 2 to 3 hours, just rest to swim a bit. Then have a walk around the lake, go and chat to the other lads that are here and see what they're up to, and well, hopefully we can be into some more fishy action tonight when I get the rods back out. And gang, as you've just seen, all 3 rods are now out, going into the 4th night. And yeah, as I said earlier, all 3 rods are now on the cherry bonbon. So that seemed to be the bait out of the 3 that's been working. So just sticking with that bait for the rest of the session now. Still on the same spots, haven't changed nothing. But yeah, it managed to stop raining long enough for me to get the rods out. It's been absolutely lashing it down all day. Right then, unless there's any carpy action during the night, I'll see you tomorrow. Which, knowing the way I've been saying things, it probably will be tomorrow now when I get the next bite. Right then gang, I've had to draft Darren in behind the camera to help me with some photos, because
hello.
I'm struggling with this fish. Basically, I've got my dream ending to this session, to this blog. I wanted one of the big girls out the lake, and yeah, basically I've got it. So, right, oh Christ, oh. There we go then gang, 40 pounds, 12 ounces, a new PB, and Darren behind the camera says it's a fish called broken rib, innit mate?
I'm not sure if it's the exact one, but it's one of them.
Let's have a look at the other side. I ain't gonna keep her up for much longer because we've had her out a few minutes already while we've been doing the photos, but yeah, to say I'm ecstatic. My first ever 40-pound carp is absolutely mind-blowing. Wow, she is heavy as you like and doing my back in. Right, I can't hold up for too long guys because it is hurting my back.
Yeah, spot on.
40 pounds 12. Oh, right, that's all you're going to see of her guys, because I just can't hold her up any longer with me bad back. To say I'm blown away is an understatement, but Right, we've had her out in the water a few minutes now, guys, so yeah, I'm happy now. Even if I finish my session tomorrow, I couldn't complain. This is what I wanted, and it's what I've got. Right, it's time to get her back then. Oh, I had a dream I caught a £40 carp last night. And guys, bloody freezing today, I can tell you that. But I'm still in a bit of shock and awe of for that fish that happened last night, to be honest with you. I just can't believe I've had my first ever UK £40 fish. But yeah, I wanted one of the Lake's 30s as well. I'll skip the 30, go straight to 40. But anyway, right, talking tactics now. All three fish I've had so far have been between the right hand rod and the middle rod. So I've made a decision. This left hand rod, which I've got on that marginal tree line to my left, I'm going to abandon that spot when I do my recast later today. Sometimes I think a mark of good angling is knowing when to abandon a spot that isn't working, rather than continuing with a spot and pumping bait into it. And you know, sometimes people will go, oh, I'll persist with that spot and make it work. But sometimes I think a good angler has just got to know when to just know when you're flogging a dead horse. And like I said, because all three fish have come on them two rods, which is out in the deeper water, that's telling me, alright, yeah, all the fish are out in deeper water and not in the shallower margins, even though I've caught from that spot before. So basically what I'm going to do, as you look at the rods, you can see the gap in the trees right above the right hand rod in the distance. That's my mark I've been casting to for my right hand rod, and that slightly bigger gap in the trees to the left of that, but the left hand side of that big gap is where I've been casting my middle rod to. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to make my left hand rod where I've been casting my middle rod, and then this rod I've been putting down the margins, I'm going to make my middle rod and basically just cast straight down the middle of them two rods. Obviously that's where the fish have been coming from, so it makes sense to put a rod in that area. So right, it's still a couple of hours yet before I get to sort of baiting up time, so what I'm going to do in a minute is just wind the rods in, just to make sure the rigs aren't clogged up with reed or weed or anything, and then just flick them back out, and then yeah, then in a couple of hours time I'll get some more bait out.
And ducks are enjoying this wet weather anyway. I'm not low, I've just absolutely given up on trying to keep my bivvy clean. How muddy it is. Yeah, I've just given up on trying to keep my bivvy clean. I've lost that battle. A little update as well, we've now got 6 anglers on the lake. The swim over to my left, the one and only swim that's on that side of the lake, someone's just turned up in that swim, and also there's someone in peg 2 on the left side of Darren now. So yeah, 6 anglers on the lake now, so looks like it's going to be a busy last night on the Syndicate. This is the last ever night we can fish this
Hey
Syndicate.
guys, the weather has just eased off a little bit. I don't think it's going to be for long though. But while there's a bit of a break in the weather, I'm going to get some bait out rather than using the big spom like I was yesterday. I'm going to use the Midday spom basically because rather than dumping sort of big piles of boilies like the big spom would do, you know, you get a bit of a more of a spread with the Midday. Obviously it doesn't hold as much, so you know, you're gonna land them in slightly different spots every time. And also the wind is right in my face now, so it's just going to be a little bit easier spotting with the Midday rather than the large one. Right, I've got about 2 kilos of bait left, so once that's out, that'll be all my baiting done left for this session, and then that'll be about a total of 10 kilos of bait I would have put out in total during this 5-day session. Right, anyway, let's get some of this bait out. Right then guys, that's me baiting up done. So at least that's 10 kilos less I know I'm going to be taking home with me than what I come with. But yeah, what time is it now? 2 o'clock. So yeah, so I'm going to do my normal thing now, what I normally do on this lake, and that's wind the rods in now and just rest the swim after I've done me baiting up for 2 or 3 hours. Like I said, as I said it already, when all that fresh bait's gone out, allows the fish to come in, have a bit of a free feed while there's no lines in the water, you know, lets them get their confidence back up, and you know, plenty of bait out there, you know, feed the bream off and then let the carp come in and have a munch after that. And but yeah, my hands are absolutely numb now, and it's still raining, hence why I've got the camera in the back of the bivvy. But yeah, anyway, right, so yeah, this is a swim rest time. Right, I'll see you later when the rods go back out. Right, gang, as you can probably see, the rods still aren't out yet. It's about 6 o'clock in the evening now, and so that means the rods have been in for about 4 hours. But as you can probably hear and probably see, it is still absolutely lashing it down. The weather has been like this all day, it hasn't stopped. That mud, I've give up trying to keep the inside of my bivvy clean and tidy now. It's just a losing battle. So this is about the time I would like to get the rods back out. I will leave it a bit longer to see if the rain will ease off a bit and I can
get out and do it without having to put all my waterproofs back on, because it is a bit of a ball ache having to get all your waterproofs on just to cast out and everything. But the rods are already clipped up and ready to go. I clipped them up at the 16 wrap ranges when I wound them in earlier on. But yeah, this weather just really has not stopped today. It's just been heavy rain all day. Lake's a bit busier now. 2 more people have turned up, so we got 7 people on the lake, and I think that's what it's going to be for the last night. This is going to be the last night of the Syndicate, so it looks like a few people have come out to have their last ever session on here. But unless this rain eases off in about the next half hour, then I won't film the rods going back out, because trying to do any filming in this weather's just been a bit of a nightmare really. So I will get the rods up soon, and if it means I've got to get all my all my overalls on to do it, then so be it. But what it does mean though, the later I leave it, the fresher my baits are going to be for longer through the night. And it's also still bloody freezing. And absolutely nothing happened last night. Just lots more rain. It pretty much rained all night. And I can clearly see during the course of this session how much rain we've had, because when I got here on Monday and set my rods up, the second ring back from my tip eye was fully at the water. They're now underwater. So in the 5 nights I've been here, the lake level has come up, I've got to say, probably about an inch. So, but yeah, unfortunately, the 5th and last night, nothing happened. Obviously, the romantic thing to have happened on the last night would have been to have had the biggest fish in the lake. A fish known as 3 scale that goes about 44 to 45 pounds. But that's just being greedy now, innit, after I've already had a 40. But anyway, it's just gone 7 o'clock in the morning now. I'm going to have some breakfast and then leave the rods up for a couple more hours yet, and then re-chuck them with some fresh bait on. I'm probably going to pack up about 5 o'clock this evening, so I've still got about 10 hours of fishing time in front of me yet. As we've seen with the first 2 fish, they've come sort of at, early-ish in the morning, so there's still a chance for one last fish yet. But I'm going to hold on to the end and try. But in the meantime, I need to feed myself. There we go, guys. All boosted up. Gonna let the booster liquid soak in for about half an hour before we have one last throw of the dice.
Here we go then, guys. Unless any fishy action happens, this is going to be my last ever cast into this lake. Right, gang. Lake's gone quiet again now. There's only 2 people left on the lake now. Obviously myself, and there's one other guy called Barry who's in the swim to my left, just over there by that big tree. So yeah, everyone else is gone now, and everyone on the lake blanked last night. So unless me or Barry have anything in the last few hours, it will look like, under the current syndicate as it is, I will be the last one on here to catch a carp. So, Barry just putting out one of his rods now. So yeah, just coming up to midday now. I'm probably going to fish till about 4, 5 o'clock. I know I've already said it in this blog, but daytime bites are very rare on this lake, and they don't happen often, but I'm going to fish through the daytime anyway, just in that chance a rare bite might happen and get one last fish out of here. No, I won't hold my breath, but I'm happy with what I've caught so far. Just a quick little update, guys. Old Barry over there, top left of shot. You might just be able to see him putting some bait out at the moment. He has just had 2 fish in quick succession, and they both weighed 26.5 pounds. So everything I said about the fish not coming out in the daytime, ignore that, because it seems like they are. So yeah, well done, Barry. So and both of them fish as well were absolutely crapping my bait out like mad. All Barry's putting out is a hempen corn, but both fish were shitting out my live system that I've put out like absolutely mad. So they have been on the munch, they are moving about, and there's still time for a bite from me yet. They're obviously in my area, or have been. But yeah, well done, Barry. And if I remember in the edit, I'll put the 2 pictures up of Barry's fish up after this little bit. Last chance saloon. That's it, guys. All over. No more fish to be had from this lake. Right, that's it then, guys. Game over. No more fish in the syndicate. But I've had a good, 8 years on here. I've had some good memories. All the lads that have fished on this syndicate in the time I've been here have all been great lads. And it's a bit of a shame it's come to an end, because we've been really spoilt with this syndicate. That we're never going to get anywhere like this ever again. But I can't complain about my last ever session. I hit all the targets I wanted to for this session, and to finish off with a 40 pound plus fish, new PB for my last ever fish I've caught out of this lake, is, it's just a fairy tale ending, really. I couldn't have asked for anything more. So that's it. It's goodbye. No more fish ever to be caught again. Well, not from here anyway. But that's it. if you've watched this mega 5-day session blog, guys. Thank you very much. I know it's been a long one. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. Hit the bell icon and then you'll get all notifications about my uploads in the future. But from Spratsgate, goodbye. Goodbye.